From rainforests that sweat with humidity like they're trapped in a sauna, to deserts so dry your skin flakes just thinking about them, Africa is a continent of extremes. There are mountains so dramatic they could win an Oscar for Best Supporting Landscape, and grasslands so endless it's like Mother Nature zoned out halfway through and just copy-pasted the terrain. But none of them hit quite like this place, the African savannah. Welcome to a land where the weather has the attention span of a caffeinated squirrel. One moment the heavens open with glorious rain, drenching the earth like it's being prepped for a shampoo commercial. The next, it's gone. Poof! Vanished without warning, leaving cracked dirt, hazy skies, and animals looking up like, seriously? Here, the sky and the land meet at the horizon, like two old friends who haven't spoken in centuries, but are still weirdly close. And beneath that sky, a world where life is one long episode of Survivor Animal Edition. There are no alliances, no immunity idols, just fangs, hooves, claws, and hustle. The grass? Oh, it stretches for miles like an ancient sun-bleached carpet, yellowed, worn out, and desperately overdue for a trim. But don't let that dull exterior fool you. Beneath that crusty facade is an underground rave of life, roots twisting, bugs bustling, creatures scheming, all fueled by a primal energy that makes your double espresso look like sleepy tea. Every single day, the savannah hosts a drama more intense than anything on reality TV. Predators move like whispers, eyes gleaming, paws silent. Meanwhile, prey animals live in a permanent state of fight or flight, sprinting like they just read the prices at a luxury safari lodge. It's tense, it's raw, it's chaotic, and nobody gets a day off. There's no 9 to 5, no weekends, and definitely no HR department to complain to. Survival is the only job, and it pays in not getting eaten. As dawn breaks, the landscape bursts into color, deep oranges and pinks painting the sky like some overly enthusiastic Instagram filter. It's breathtaking, it's beautiful, and beneath that serene glow, pure unfiltered panic. Because while you're thinking, wow, what a view, a lion is thinking, breakfast. Life and death don't take turns here. They crash into each other all day, like two toddlers fighting over the last juice box. It's a 24/7, no-rules, full-contact wildlife showdown, and somehow it still manages to stay in balance. So strap in, because in the African savannah, you're not just watching nature. You're witnessing an ancient battleground, a live-action thriller, and a masterclass in survival, all rolled into one dusty, dramatic, absolutely unforgettable arena. Grab your popcorn, maybe even a helmet, because this isn't just nature, it's nature turned all the way up. This is the wildest reality show on Earth, and it's just getting started. Every year, as the rain taps out and the grass throws in the towel, the savannah hosts the wildest, dustiest road trip known to wildlife, the Great Migration. Picture this: 1.5 million wildebeests, 25,000 zebras, and a motley crew of antelopes all marching across East Africa like it's Coachella, but with more hooves and significantly fewer porta-potties. They travel from Tanzania's Serengeti to Kenya's Masai Mara, covering nearly 1,800 miles of open terrain, dried-up riverbeds, crocodile-infested crossings, and lions who've been waiting all year to shout "surprise" in the most violent way possible. Why do they do it? Simple. Grass. Delicious, juicy, fresh grass. And water too. Because in the savannah, the buffet is always moving. If you don't follow it, you starve. If you do follow it, well, you might get eaten. But hey, nothing says adventure like a death-defying game of, do I cross this river full of giant reptiles or nah? The Mara River is the real boss level. It's the final exam of the migration, where thousands leap in and pray their hooves don't get grabbed by crocodiles who've been skipping meals since last season. There's no going around. No shortcuts. Just a stampede of anxious ungulates and a whole lot of splashing. Some make it, some don't. Some trip and take 5 others with them. It's chaos. Beautiful, tragic, muddy chaos. And right behind the herds, lions, leopards, cheetahs, wild dogs, hyenas, basically a traveling buffet with teeth. The predators know this migration route better than your Uber driver knows shortcuts. They wait in tall grass behind trees in riverbanks, like nature's version of jump scares. But the herbivores are no dummies. They've done this for generations. Their hooves have memorized the way. Their noses smell rain before clouds even form. This isn't just instinct, it's ancestral GPS. Every mile they travel keeps the ecosystem alive. Their grazing prunes the grass. Their poop fertilizes it, gross but effective, and their bodies feed everything from insects to apex predators. The Great Migration isn't just a trip, it's the savannah's pulse. a breathtaking, bone-rattling stampede that keeps the wild world turning. In the African savanna, being a predator isn't just about brute strength. It's about patience, timing, strategy, and occasionally letting someone else do the hard work so you can swoop in and steal the reward. This is the Predator playbook, where every move is a mix of instinct, trickery, and drama, worthy of a daytime soap opera. Let's start with the big guy, the lion, or as he prefers to be known, His Royal Highness of fluffy manes and loud roars. Lions, Panthera leo, are the headline act of the savanna. Big, golden, and confident enough to sleep 20 hours a day like they're paying rent to nobody. But despite their reputation as the kings of the wild, here's a plot twist. It's the ladies doing the heavy lifting. Lionesses are the real MVPs. They're the hunters, the strategists, the fierce mums who don't take nonsense from anyone. When it's dinner time, the lionesses coordinate like a Navy SEAL squad, using silent signals, flanking maneuvers, and brutal efficiency to bring down prey twice their size. Meanwhile, the male, he shows up last minute with a "you saved me a leg, right?" energy and eats first like he just got home from the gym. But don't be fooled. The males have a role too. Their massive manes and terrifying roars aren't just for dramatic effect. They're walking warning signs. Their job is to protect the pride from rival males, rogue lions, and those pushy hyenas that just don't know when to back off. And when fights do break out, let's just say things get primal real quick. Claws out, roars flying, testosterone flooding the savanna. And speaking of pushy neighbors, enter the spotted hyena, Crocuta, a creature with the laugh of a mad scientist and the strategic mind of a chess grandmaster. You may think they're just scavengers hanging around waiting for table scraps, but guess what? 60 to 75% of their food comes from kills they make themselves. Yep, these guys don't just crash the party, they host their own. Hyenas live in female-dominated clans, because of course they do. And those clans can have up to 80 members. That's a whole army with social drama, hierarchy, and enough bite force to snap your arm like a breadstick. Literally. Their bite clocks in at over 1100 psi, nearly double that of a lion. And while lions fight for food, hyenas coordinate. They surround, isolate, and attack prey with ruthless efficiency. If they weren't terrifying, they'd be inspiring. But the real savanna soap opera? It's not predator versus prey, it's predator versus predator. Lions hate hyenas. Hyenas hate lions. Sometimes they steal kills from each other. Sometimes they fight to the death. It's like a turf war with teeth. And no matter who wins, somebody leaves angry, limping, or hungry. Then there's the leopard, the James Bond of predators. Suave, stealthy, and absolutely not interested in your drama. Leopards, Panthera pardus, hunt alone, operate at night, and rarely share their food. They're the ultimate introverts. Need a meal? They'll stalk in silence, pounce like a shadow, and drag their kill up a tree just so nobody else can touch it. It's not selfish, it's strategic. And finally, we have the underdog turned elite operator, the African wild dog. With ears like satellite dishes and a success rate that would make any predator jealous, up to 80% of hunts end in a kill, these pack hunting machines don't mess around. They run, they chase, they communicate. Wild dogs work as a unit, planning attacks like military squads. If lions are muscle and leopards are spies, wild dogs are the SWAT team of the savanna. Each predator has its own method. Lions ambush in teams. Hyenas wear you down with numbers. Leopards go stealth mode. Wild dogs chase you until your legs give out. And every day they compete not just for food, but for survival, territory, and dominance. Because in the savanna, even being a top predator doesn't guarantee a meal. You can hunt like a pro, make the perfect kill, and still lose your dinner to someone louder, stronger, or more organized. It's the original version of you snooze, you lose, except snoozing gets you mauled. So the next time you see a lion on a throne of bones, remember, it didn't get there by laziness or luck. It got there through generations of learning, adapting, and outwitting every other toothy competitor in the neighborhood. Welcome to the Predator Club. No mercy, no rules, and definitely no leftovers. So far, we've met the claw swingers, the stealth strikers, the kill stealers. But now, it's time to meet the muscle of the munchers. These are the plant-powered beasts who prove you don't need fangs to be a savage. Welcome to the world of vegetarians with violent tendencies. Let's begin with the heavyweight champion of the savanna, the African bush elephant. This majestic mountain of meat and muscle is the largest land animal on Earth. How big, you ask? The biggest recorded was 13 feet tall and weighed nearly 23,000 pounds. That's not an animal. That's a living bulldozer with a nose that doubles as a forklift. And what does it take to power this grey behemoth? About 330 pounds of vegetation per day. That's like eating a garden center for breakfast. Elephants roam constantly, pulling down branches, uprooting trees, and reshaping entire landscapes as they go. They're not just part of the ecosystem, they are the ecosystem. Their movements open paths for other animals. Their dung spreads seeds across the land like nature's weird fertilizer cannon, and their sheer size creates waterholes just by stomping around. Oh, and did we mention they cry, mourn their dead, and are basically the emotionally intelligent giants we all wish we could be? But don't let the gentle trunk and soulful eyes fool you. When provoked, elephants go full rampage mode, charging at 25 miles per hour with 22,000 pounds of "you done messed up." They'll flip your safari jeep without spilling their emotional trauma. Next up, the zebra, arguably the most stylish grazer on the planet. With their black and white stripes looking like someone went wild with a barcode machine, zebras are living optical illusions. When they move as a herd, their stripes confuse predators, making it hard to lock onto a single target. It's like nature's camouflage, but make it fashion. Each zebra's stripe pattern is unique, like a fingerprint. If your fingerprint also screams sass and could kick a lion in the face. And yes, zebras can deliver a kick so powerful, it can break a jaw. So while they're busy grazing, looking cute and mooing, yes, they make weird sounds, they're also prepared to drop-kick danger into the next time zone. Then there's the African buffalo, also known as the "you talking to me" of the savannah. They look like cows, friendly, sleepy cows. But make no mistake, this beast is not your petting zoo buddy. Weighing up to 1,500 pounds and armed with a helmet of bone called a boss, they walk like they've got a chip on every shoulder. Buffalo are unpredictable. One minute they're chewing grass peacefully. The next, they're charging a lion like it insulted their mother. They move in herds that operate like biker gangs, tight, dangerous, and not afraid to throw down. They've been known to rescue fellow herd members from predators, turning lion hunts into chaotic brawls that often end with the hunter limping off in shame. And now for some horned heroes, the antelopes. We're talking kudus, oryx, sable antelope and their crew. With spiral horns, razor-sharp reflexes, and the elegance of a ballet dancer crossed with a parkour expert, these grazers don't just run, they glide. They leap, twist, and sometimes turn mid-air just to avoid a set of teeth. The oryx, for example, can survive without drinking water for weeks. It extracts moisture from dry vegetation and adjusts its body temperature to avoid sweating. Basically, it's a desert survivalist wrapped in sleek white fur with two massive spears growing out of its skull. Predators don't take oryx lightly. Many have learned the hard way that chasing one means possibly getting impaled like a villain in an old action movie. Meanwhile, topis are the track stars of the savannah. With speeds hitting 43 miles per hour, they sprint like their lives depend on it. Because, well, they do. They live in constantly moving herds, staying one hoof ahead of the lions, leopards, and anything else that sees lunch when looking at their shiny brown coats. Let's not forget the eland, the largest antelope in the world. Standing 6 feet at the shoulder and weighing up to 2,200 pounds, they look like someone mashed a moose, a cow, and a runway model into one animal. They're gentle, yes, but that doesn't stop them from bolting 25 miles per hour or smashing through thorny brush like they're clearing a path for everyone else. But all these herbivores aren't just surviving, they're essential to the savannah's health. Their grazing keeps the grasslands in check, their migrations fertilize the soil, their movements dictate predator behavior, and their very presence maintains the balance of this wild, roaring, grass-crunching world. They may not have claws. They may not hunt, but they fight, flee, endure, and carry entire ecosystems on their shoulders, sometimes literally. In the world of the savannah, herbivore doesn't mean harmless. It means hardcore. While lions roar and elephants stomp, the skies above the African savannah are having a party of their own. And it's loud, it's feathery, and sometimes it's just plain weird. Because in this part of the world, birds aren't just background fluff. They are hunters, scavengers, air traffic controllers, and the occasional fashion icon. Let's start with the marabou stork, a bird so haunting it looks like it escaped from a Tim Burton film. Nicknamed the Undertaker bird, this 10-foot wingspan behemoth rocks a bald head, a hunched posture, and a face that screams, "I haven't slept since the Ice Age." From the back, it looks like it's wearing a cloak. From the front, it looks like something you'd cross the road to avoid. But don't underestimate this grim reaper on stilts. The marabou is essential to the savannah's health. It's a top-tier scavenger, strolling into kill sites like, "Anyone eating that kidney?" They consume rotting carcasses, leftover bones, and anything else with a whiff of decay. Basically the avian version of a vacuum cleaner. Without them, this whole place would smell like a fridge that died during a heat wave. Next on the catwalk of chaos, the grey-crowned crane. If the marabou is goth, the crowned crane is pure glam. With a golden tiara of feathers and legs for days, it struts through the wetlands like it's starring in Birds of Broadway. But these birds aren't just pretty, they're ecological MVPs. Crowned cranes are seed spreaders, insect wranglers, and professional dancers. Yes, dancers. During courtship, they bow, leap, twirl, and flap in synchronized routines that would put TikTok to shame. It's nature's most adorable talent show, and everyone's invited. Then we've got the African spoonbill. And yes, it has a bill that looks like, you guessed it, a spoon. Imagine a bird trying to eat cereal with its face. That's this guy. It wades through shallow waters, swishing its beak side to scoop up insects, crustaceans, and tiny fish. It doesn't even need to see its prey. Its bill is so sensitive, it could detect movement through a mud puddle in the dark. But while some birds are weird and wonderful, others are straight up terrifying, like the lappet-faced vulture. With a face like it's been through 3 bar fights and a voice like a haunted cough, this vulture is the apex cleanup crew. When there's a carcass, they show up like mob enforcers, bossing smaller scavengers around and tearing through hide like a feathered chainsaw. You know you're hardcore when lions give you side-eye. And speaking of boss birds, the martial eagle flies high above the savannah, with eyes sharper than your mum's glare when you forget her birthday. These raptors are massive, stealthy, and deadly. They can spot a monkey from the sky, dive at 150 miles per hour, and snatch it up like a flying ninja. Their talons are so strong they could crush bones. They are the unspoken assassins of the skies. Oh, and let's not forget the ostrich, the savannah's awkward, long-legged linebacker. Standing up to 9 feet tall and clocking 40 miles per hour, ostriches don't fly, but they'll outrun anything that tries to mess with them. And if cornered, one kick, just one. That's all it takes to knock a lion flat or send a hyena into early retirement. Despite their goofy faces and constant "I'm late" running posture, ostriches are savanna survivalists. They barely need water, have special heat-regulating feathers, and can survive the worst of the dry season by simply chilling in the shade and minding their own birdie business. Legends. Together, these birds play vital roles in the savanna's balance. They clean, they hunt, they farm. Yes, cranes and storks help with seed dispersal. And they entertain, because let's be honest, there's something wildly funny about a giant bird sprinting across the plains like it just remembered it left the stove on. So next time you hear a tweet or see a feather float by in the wind, remember, it could be from a scavenger, a killer, a dancer, or a bird that kicks lions for fun. In the skies above the savannah, the drama never ends. And honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. So far we've met the predators, the prey, the kick-happy birds, and the tusked titans. But now it's time to talk about the real masterminds of the savannah, the plants. That's right, the green guys. The ones everyone ignores until they're gone, and suddenly the whole place falls apart like a Jenga tower during an earthquake. You think they're just standing there? Nah. Plants are the puppet masters of the ecosystem, silent, unassuming. But without them, everything, and I mean everything, dies, cries, or migrates. Let's start with the unsung hero of the savannah, grass. You know, the stuff everyone steps on? Yeah. That stuff is running an underground empire. The grasses here may look dry and crunchy on the outside, like a salad left out in the sun. But underneath, they're packing deep root systems, storing water, and regenerating faster than your phone's battery drains during TikTok binges. They're built for survival. When the rains hit, they explode into green carpets, feeding every herbivore for miles. When the dry season returns, they play dead like drama queens, just waiting for the next drop of rain to bounce back like, "Miss me?" And when grazers munch too much, no worries, they regrow, stronger, thicker, sassier. Next, we've got the acacia tree, aka the savannah's version of a cactus mixed with a bouncer. Acacias don't just sit there offering shade. They come with built-in security systems. Thorny branches? Check. Leaves that release toxic tannins when overgrazed? Absolutely. Oh, and they warn each other. That's right. When one acacia gets nibbled, it releases a chemical into the air that tells its leafy neighbors, "Hey, incoming giraffe, bitter up!" Yes, they talk. Not with words, but with airborne chemical gossip. It's like a plant group chat where everyone screams defense mode the moment something with teeth shows up. Then there's the baobab, the upside-down tree that looks like it's doing a headstand after leg day. These trees are ancient, massive, and ridiculously resourceful. They store water in their trunks like a desert canteen. During dry spells, animals, including elephants, chew through the bark just to hydrate. And baobabs don't just feed the thirsty, they feed the entire food web. Their fruit is rich in vitamin C, nature's savanna smoothie. Their flowers attract pollinators, and their hollow trunks sometimes serve as homes for bats, birds, and that one confused meerkat who's clearly lost. Shrubs, meanwhile, are the quiet MVPs. They thrive in poor soils, grow in places most plants would give up on, and offer food and cover for creatures of every size. During droughts, many antelopes switch to browsing shrubs because grass is basically dust. Shrubs are like the emergency snacks of the savanna, always there when everything else runs out. But it's not just about who gets eaten. Plants also shape the very behavior of animals. They dictate migration routes, control nesting grounds, influence predator ambush zones, and affect everything from termite mounds to elephant movements. And if that wasn't enough, plants literally cool the planet. They store carbon, regulate temperatures, and keep the soil from turning into lifeless concrete. Without them, the savanna would become a dust bowl where even the vultures pack up and leave. Oh, and let's not forget about fire. Yep, plants in the savanna are so hardcore they've adapted to regular wildfires. Many grasses and trees rely on fire to trigger seed germination or clear out dead material. Fire isn't destruction, it's housekeeping, controlled chaos. Nature's way of saying, time for a fresh start. So next time you walk past a tree, a patch of grass, or even a random spiky bush and think, meh, it's just a plant, remember, that thing may be coordinating a full-blown ecosystem from the underground up. The predators may roar, the herbivores may run, the birds may squawk, but it's the plants that hold the blueprint to everything. If the dry savanna is nature's oven, then the flooded savanna is its chaotic, slippery water park. Except the lifeguards are crocodiles, and the floaties? Yeah, they bite. Welcome to the wet zone, where rivers rise and fall like a drama queen's emotions, and the entire ecosystem reshuffles like it's playing musical chairs with survival. This is where life thrives. Death lurks beneath the surface, and one of the most unpredictable forces of nature, water, becomes both a blessing and a trap. Let's begin with the real landlord of the wetlands, the hippopotamus. Don't let the chubby body, sleepy face, or permanent resting grumpiness fool you. Hippos are not cuddly. They are tank mode herbivores with jaws that open 4 feet wide and bite down with over 1800 psi. That's strong enough to chomp a watermelon into mist, or snap a crocodile in half like it was made of breadsticks. They may live in the water, but they don't swim. They walk along the riverbed like underwater bosses. A typical group, called a pod, contains 10 to 30 of these grumpy floaters, and they're extremely territorial. If you enter their space uninvited, whether you're a crocodile, a boat, or a clueless tourist, they will defend it with the force of an angry bus. At night, they waddle out of the water to graze, consuming up to 80 pounds of grass like midnight snackers who take light meal way too seriously. But their role is deeper than just stomping around and looking meme-worthy. Hippos help fertilize the ecosystem. Their waste adds nutrients to the water, which supports fish, birds, and aquatic plants. Basically, they poop life into the rivers. Weird flex, but it works. Now let's talk about the Mara River, a place that makes nature documentaries either go viral or give viewers anxiety. Every year, thousands of wildebeests, zebras, and gazelles must cross this crocodile-packed horror show during the Great Migration. It's like trying to cross a freeway blindfolded, but the cars have teeth. And hiding beneath those murky waters, the Nile crocodile, ancient, patient, and always hungry. These monsters can grow up to 18 feet long and weigh as much as a small car. When prey enters the river, the crocs don't attack immediately. Oh no, they wait, motionless, invisible, then BAM! A split-second ambush and it's game over. The victim is dragged under, spun in a death roll, and turned into soup. But it's not all doom and gloom. These river crossings are also vital life cycles. The strong make it through, the weak feed the scavengers, and the nutrients from fallen prey go back into the ecosystem. Brutal? Yes. Balanced? Surprisingly. In places like the Sud wetland, water transforms the savanna into a lush aquatic paradise. Over 400 bird species migrate here, using the flooded grasslands as seasonal hotels. Birds like the African spoonbill, the grey heron, and even flamingos touch down in massive numbers, turning muddy swamps into feathered festivals. Then there's the waterbuck, which sounds like a lazy nickname, but is actually a sleek antelope built for damp chaos. It's got a waterproof coat, a survival instinct, and the ability to outswim danger when needed. If predators chase them into the water, they don't panic, they dive right in and outswim lions. Yes, antelopes with Michael Phelps energy. In deeper swamps, you'll also find the red lechwe, another aquatic antelope that basically lives with wet hooves year-round. Their long legs, sleek bodies, and slippery hooves help them maneuver through the mush while looking fabulous doing it. They're nature's swamp ballet dancers, prancing through puddles while keeping an eye out for crocs. And let's not forget the papyrus reeds and other aquatic plants. These soggy superheroes stabilize riverbanks, filter water, and provide hiding spots for everything from frogs to fish to that one bird who just wants some peace and quiet. But here's the twist. Water is a shapeshifter. In the rainy season, it brings life. In the dry season, it vanishes like a magician's trick, turning lush wetlands into cracked clay and stranding animals in parched confusion. Those who can't adapt, gone. Those who can, they dig, migrate, change diets, or in the case of the hippo, just sink deeper. In the flooded savannah, survival requires flexibility. Swim when needed, run when possible, hide when smart, and if all else fails, float and look dangerous. Welcome to the food chain's top floor, the high-stakes, high-drama world of the apex predators. This is where power isn't just about who's got the sharpest teeth, but who plays the smartest game. It's not just a kingdom, it's a soap opera with claws. Let's start with the OG boss of the savannah, the self-declared monarch, the lion. The title King of the Jungle is ironic because, newsflash, lions don't live in jungles. But that hasn't stopped them from acting royal. A full-grown male lion struts like he owns the savannah, mane blowing in the wind, roaring like he's narrating his own movie trailer. But here's the royal twist. It's the lionesses doing the hard work. The hunting, the childcare, the organizing, the everything. The males mostly protect the pride from outsiders, pose majestically on rocks, and start fights they can't finish. Still, don't underestimate them. A lion can take down a buffalo, fight off a hyena clan, and roar loud enough to make a helicopter nervous. Yet for all their muscle and majesty, lions only succeed in about 1 out of every 5 hunts. Why? Because life at the top is crowded and competition is brutal. Next in line, the queen of speed, the cheetah. Sleek, silent, and built like a sports car with fur. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals on Earth, clocking in at 58 to 64 miles per hour, but only for 20 to 30 seconds. After that, they're gasping like they just ran to catch a bus in flip-flops. Their hunting style is all about precision. They stalk in silence, get as close as possible, and then explode into motion. But even when they land a kill, they've got a problem. Cheetahs are solo artists and absolutely terrible at holding on to their lunch. Enter the hyenas. These guys are nature's mafia, loud, organized, and always sniffing around for a free meal. Hyenas are the ultimate opportunists, part scavenger, part ruthless hunter, and they've got math on their side. They hunt in large female-led clans and use teamwork like lions use attitude. When they show up to a kill site, even lions get nervous. But wait, there's a new challenger entering the arena. African wild dogs, the underdogs, the dark horses. The we don't look tough but we'll outsmart you predators. Wild dogs may look like they're made of spare animal parts, but don't be fooled. They have the highest hunting success rate in the savannah, up to 80%. Their secret? Flawless communication and teamwork. They hunt in packs, assign roles, rotate chasers, and confuse prey like they've been watching football replays. One by one, they wear their target down until, boom, game over. Meanwhile, up in the trees or in the shadows, lurks the leopard. Think of it as the James Bond of predators, silent, solo, stylish. Leopards avoid drama by operating at night, dragging kills up into trees, and ghosting other predators like, "Not today, Karen." They'll eat almost anything. Antelopes, birds, monkeys, even reptiles. And they're smart enough to know when to hide and when to strike. So who really rules the savannah? Lions have the brawn and the numbers. Cheetahs have the speed and precision. Wild dogs have the brains and tactics. Hyenas have the guts and gang strength. Leopards have stealth and adaptability. But here's the thing. It's not a straight-up food chain. It's a food web, a chaotic competition where today's king could be tomorrow's target. Sometimes the cheetah kills, only to have it stolen by a hyena. Sometimes lions fight wild dogs, only to be chased off by a clan of furious hyenas. Sometimes the leopard wins by not playing the game at all. It's not just about who's deadliest. It's about who survives the longest, eats the most, and wastes the least energy. It's a balance of power constantly shifting with every roar, sprint, ambush, and scavenged meal. So if you thought the savannah was ruled by one mighty king, think again. It's a Game of Thrones with paws, and winter is never coming, but the hyenas always are. You ever hear someone say, herbivores are harmless? Yeah. That person's never been kicked in the chest by a zebra or had a 6-ton elephant stomp through their campsite. In the savannah, being a herbivore doesn't mean you're soft. It means you're tough enough to survive in a world where every tree has teeth marks, and everything bigger than a bush might want to eat you. It means you eat plants for a living and fight like hell to keep doing it. Let's start with the African buffalo, aka the don't mess with me cow of the wilderness. Weighing up to 1,500 pounds and armed with a fused skull helmet known as a boss, these guys are pure muscle, mood swings, and testosterone. A buffalo herd may look like it's just chilling in the grass, but if one lion so much as coughs wrong, it can turn into an instant riot. Buffalo have been known to mob predators, rescue captured herd mates, and literally flip lions into the air. Even lions think twice before tangling with a buffalo herd. In the hierarchy of who not to annoy, buffalo are near the top, right after angry elephants and mama hippos. Now meet the zebra, the fashion icon of the plains. Stripes, swagger, and a kick that can shatter bones. Zebras may look pretty, but under that black and white outfit is a fighter who doesn't play games. They're constantly alert, highly social, and always prepared to bolt or back kick a predator into next Tuesday. Oh, and those stripes? They're not just for show. Scientists believe they help with predator confusion, insect avoidance, and possibly even air conditioning. Yes, fashion and function. Then there's the wildebeest, sometimes mocked for their goofy looks and awkward run. But let's be real, if you had to migrate 1,800 miles through lion territory every year, you'd look a little frazzled too. These guys are endurance athletes, moving in massive herds that shape the rhythm of the entire savannah. Sure, they're often targeted by predators, but when there are 1.5 million of you, the odds are better. Plus, their numbers support lions, hyenas, crocodiles, vultures, you name it. The wildebeest is basically the biological ATM of the savannah, always giving, constantly hunted, never out of season. And now, antelope with attitude. The sable antelope, the kudu, the oryx, all horned, all agile, and all more dangerous than you'd think. The oryx, in particular, is built like a desert warrior. It can survive weeks without water, pull moisture from dry grass, and defend itself with horns so sharp they've impaled lions. The kudu, it looks regal, elegant, almost spiritual, until it vanishes into the bushes like a magic trick, leaving predators swiping at thin air. And the sable antelope, sleek, black-coated, and built like it works out at a predator gym. It'll run, sure, but corner one, and it'll spin and fight like a four-legged gladiator. Then there's the eland, the heavyweight champion of antelopes. Tipping the scales at over 2,000 pounds, it's not just big, it's smart. Elands know when to run, when to stand, and how to survive droughts by extracting moisture from plants and reducing their water loss like walking desert air conditioners. Together, these grazers, browsers, and horn-first questions-later warriors are the true backbone of the savannah. They feed the predators, fertilize the soil, spread seeds, and keep the grasslands alive. But don't ever mistake them for weak, because in the African wilderness, survival is earned, not gifted. And these herbivores have earned every bite, every breath, and every stampede. They don't chase prey. They don't roar. They don't hide in trees. But when danger comes, they fight. They flee. They endure. And sometimes, they win. You've seen the epic battles, the migrations, the survival stories. But here's the truth, they don't always show in the highlight reels. The African savannah is in trouble. Not, oops, someone forgot to water the plants trouble. We're talking existential, planetary, we might lose it forever trouble. Let's start with the old school villain, drought. It's been a savannah staple forever. Dry season comes, animals adjust, the strong survive. But climate change has taken that script, crumpled it up and set it on fire. According to the IPCC, the average temperature in the savannah has risen 1.5 Celsius over the past 50 years. And what's that done? It's messed with the rhythm of everything. Rainy seasons show up late, or not at all. Rivers dry up faster than a spilled drink in the Sahara. And grass? It dies off, leaving entire herds to starve or migrate farther and farther just to survive. In South Africa's temperate savannah, rainfall has dropped by 20% in the last 3 decades. That's not a drizzle shortage. That's a disaster. With less rain, herbivores can't find food. Predators starve. Birds stop migrating. The chain reaction is brutal, but the weather's not the only problem. Enter stage left, humans. Agriculture is expanding like it just discovered YOLO. Trees are chopped, grasslands are plowed, and animals are pushed out of their homes faster than you can say, development project. Entire migration routes, paths animals have followed for generations, are now blocked by farms, fences and roads. Deforestation has stripped more than 75% of the African savanna, according to WWF. And when you cut down trees, you don't just lose shade. You lose bird nesting grounds. You destroy natural water cycles. You turn rich soil into dust. And if that's not enough, cue the darkest shadow, poaching. Every year, over 2,000 elephants are killed for ivory. White rhinos, hunted for horns. Lions, leopards, pangolins, you name it, someone's trying to sell it on the black market. The wild is becoming a shop window for the greedy. In 2022 alone, more than 450 rhinos were killed in South Africa. That's not just tragic, it's terrifying, because these aren't just animals. They're keystone species. If they disappear, entire ecosystems could collapse like a house of cards built in a wind tunnel. And here's the ultimate plot twist. Many of these animals are losing their fear of humans, not because they're braver, but because they have nowhere else to go. They're raiding crops, wandering into villages, and getting killed just for existing in the wrong place at the wrong time. So what now? Is it all doom and gloom? Not quite. Because here's the twist. We're also part of the solution. Across Africa, more than 300 national parks and reserves now act as safe zones, fortresses where wildlife can breathe. Rangers patrol, drones fly, poachers run scared, and local communities are getting involved, recognizing that wildlife brings tourism, jobs, pride. Conservation groups are stepping up. From GPS collars on elephants to anti-poaching canine units to tree replanting projects, the savanna's allies are growing. But it's still a race against time, because nature doesn't have a backup savanna. There's no second Africa. No save as button if things go wrong. The lions can fight hyenas. The zebras can outrun cheetahs, but they can't outrun us. We shape the future now, with our choices, our voices, our actions. And if we fail, the roar of the lion, the thunder of hooves, the cries of the crowned crane may all go silent.